On this episode of Nerdy 4, I speak with Mia Jackson. She is sitting right there. No, you can't see her. We're going to see her soon. If you just keep watching this, it's going to turn into the part where she was with me and we were talking. We talked about autobiographies of celebrities. We talked about a little bit about the Enneagram. We talked about spirit guides and meditation and lots of giggling, a little bit about my naked family. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Nerdy 4 podcast, where we ask interesting people what they're nerdy for. My producer just dropped his phone on the ground. Great job, Joel. We're getting off to a great start. But this is actually this is a very special episode because I'm here with Mia Jackson.
Stop.
Hi, Mia Jackson. I can't believe you're in my costume closet with me.
I'm very excited about it, so thank you for having me.
I'm so happy to have you. Real quick, I just want to let everybody know Mia Jackson's the real freaking deal. Like, you've had a Comedy Central half hour. I've watched it 7 times.
Stop it.
And you perform at the Comedy Cellar.
I do, yes.
And you were New Faces.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to see that because I was not in Canada in 2017. But you also, you were there. You had an unprotected sets recording here at the Punchline.
Right, yeah.
I went to it, and my friend Jose went to the second recording, and I can hear his laugh.
Really?
In the recordings, because he's a very gay laugh.
A gay laugh, oh my God.
And with all the cool things the gay laugh can be, he has it. I can hear his laugh, because you get cuts back and forth to the different, like the first recording and the second recording. How many recordings did you have for that?
2. Yeah, it was just
okay,
2,
so I can that's the part from the second show.
Really?
That's the part from the first show. It's so funny to see.
I love that you were able to figure that out because I haven't seen it in a while. So when I saw it, I was like, I don't remember what happened at all. So
right? Do you have because Unprotected Sets?
Yes.
Wanda Sykes is the producer.
Yeah.
But
Paige Hurwitz, their production company.
Yes.
Push
all right, real quick, just angle the mic a bit more towards your face.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go. You're good.
Okay.
But
all right.
you have to get a subscription to Epics to watch
Well,
it.
it's MGM Plus now.
Oh, is it?
Changed.
Oh, can I cancel my Epic? The only reason I got the Epics thing was so I could watch you on there.
Are you hilarious? Oh my God, are you serious?
I'm serious.
Look, I'm trying to say, are you serious and hilarious? That is hilarious. Like, oh my God. Yeah, no, you can cancel it now. Unless you watch the show Godfather of Harlem, which is very good.
Are you in it?
No,
I'm not watching it.
I just like the show. It's such a good show. It's Forrest Whitaker. It's so good.
Oh, okay.
It's so good.
I will
keep it for that.
I'll allow it. Forrest Whitaker.
Keep it for that.
Okay.
And then share the password with me.
Then you get caught out.
So, I got a stars password I can give you.
Oh.
Nobody has stars but me for some reason.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
There's too many streaming services. It sucks because a lot of good stuff is out, but it's just like I already have 3 and that's my max here.
It's so many.
It's too much.
Yeah.
And I have all of them for no reason. And I'm like, what am I doing?
Well, it's like for watching comedy, you probably would like this, keeping up with continuing education.
You know what? Maybe I should. Can I write that off?
It's a lunch and learn.
Yeah,
I write
honestly,
that
you
off?
can.
Yeah.
Okay.
For stuff like that, it's like research. My friend runs a film festival, and he writes off his DVDs and Blu-rays that he buys because he's researching.
Okay, well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm like, this is for the greater good of me.
Yeah.
And you are getting top-notch economic law and tax advice from 2 artists here.
Yeah. I haven't been audited yet. Does that count?
You probably don't have enough money to get
that's
audited.
honestly true.
I'm sorry, Joel.
No, that's very true. That's
You're so cute.
That's what that's what the advice I was given by 2 different accountants. They're like, here's the thing. They would lose money coming after you. And I was like,
wow.
You might be saying that as an insult, but I don't give a shit.
Right. Yeah. Look at who wants to be audited. Yeah.
The government doesn't care about you.
They're like,
or
how
your
much
money.
did you make? They're like, under 120. I'm like, not even close to that. They're like, well, then why would I look at this?
Look, one time somebody from a comedy booker called me, but he prank called me and said he was from the IRS and that he was auditing me. And he was like, hi, I'm Mia Jackson. And I'm like, yes. He's like, this is the IRS, so we got to talk about you. And I was like, for what? I was like, why? And then he was just like, I was just trying to check to see when you were available. I was like, why would you do that?
You're like, my booking fee just went up.
Right. I'm like, why would you do that? I was
not available for the next 3 weeks while I clean the poop out of my pants.
Right. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, that was a very nice.
Comic?
It's just like, right, and it's how fast you can go to anxiety too. Are you high strung?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I am very just. It's a lot. Are
you?
I'm somewhat calm, but then everybody that like my mom is always like, you need to calm down. She was like, you got to relax. You are out of control. But
how many tabs do you have open on your computer right now?
listen, you do not like. If you saw my desktop and the tabs, like I have a separate Google Chrome tab with new tabs because I keep going, what if I need to go back to this page?
I'm not done yet.
And other things.
I'm not done yet. That's a reminder.
Yeah.
I keep all my tabs open. I'm high strung too.
It's important.
It can be too much sometimes.
When I travel, I have to make sure I'm like, everything is where I need it to be. Like this is my short trip bag. This is my bigger trip, because otherwise
to manage anxiety.
I would be out of control. I mean, it would be bad. Yeah. So
I'm glad you have some mechanisms for controlling it. I just drink. I don't know, like
I don't drink that much anymore.
Because you're smart. Because it's poison. We're not supposed to put in our body, and you're being wise. I know, right? Okay.
I should drink.
Mia Jackson, what are you nerdy for?
I am nerdy for. I feel like I should pause.
Dramatic pause.
I
Eyebrows.
am nerdy for celebrity memoirs and gossip. But the gossip from an autobiography, and I love a biopic. That's my thing. I love it so much. I love being in people's business that they've given me permission to read. So
Okay, I have a list here of all the celebrity. I think I have this. I'm nerdy for the same thing, because when you texted me that, my heart lit up. Okay, I'm gonna start reading off names, and you tell me if you've Amy Schumer's, because you opened for Amy Schumer. Did you read her book? You're pausing way too much. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Is it like the girl with the...
She gives you a copy of the book every time you open for her. She's like, thank you so much.
I have not read hers because I talked to her, so I'm like, I know stuff.
You know this stuff. Do you read or do you listen to these things?
Read most of them. Yeah, I've only listened to like one or two, but it's been some time. And this is the thing. I read a lot of comedy ones, but I also am into like a lot of like Black entertainers. So that's mostly what I kind of get into.
Yeah.
But I read a ton.
I love hearing it from the person's voice who wrote it. So
I need to go back and...
David, do you ever read David Sedaris? He's
I do not. I know who he is, but yeah.
His audibles, he reads all of them, and it's the most entertaining thing to listen to
well,
when you're folding laundry.
He's really good.
So
Add
good.
to the list. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Tina Fey.
You know what? Yeah, I do. I had hers. Yeah.
Amy Poehler.
I did not read hers.
Okay. Sarah Silverman, Bedwetter.
Can I pause for a second? I feel like this list is going to be like, you're not really nerdy for it.
Oh, we're going to judge you, and you're going to go home crying. Thank you for coming to my podcast. I really appreciate it.
Oh, my God. Okay. I have not read hers.
Okay.
It'd probably be easier to tell you the ones that I have read.
Okay. Let's do that.
I have read, let me see, Steve Martin's.
Yes. Okay, I got that one.
Okay. Let me see your list. Let me see who else.
This is not in real English. It's in Amy English. I'm
desperately my handwriting is bad, so I can read it.
So I got Steve Martin, Leah Remini, Neil Patrick Harris.
I think I read Chelsea Handler's first one.
Yeah.
I read that one, but it's been some time. And then who else did I read? It's been so many. Okay, but of the other ones, Tina Turner, Tina. That was probably the first one I read like years ago.
She's had a life. They made it into a movie. It was so exciting.
It was her amazing.
She's a survivor.
Yeah. So hers was amazing.
Does it inspire you when you're like, okay?
Yeah.
I can do it.
It was like I saw the movie first, and that's when I became obsessed. But when I read the book, I was like, oh, this is great.
Okay, I'm going to put that on my list.
Yeah. And then I think there was a newer one, but I haven't read that one. But Tina is the first one that I think that's what they made the movie from.
Okay.
But it was interview style. So they even interviewed like Ike in the book. It was very interesting. And so people that were there during that time in her life, and they actually saw
what was happening,
things that were going on.
Oh, goose pimples.
Yeah. So it was.
I saw him throw her up against
it. It was crazy, but it was really good, and it just made me like become a huge fan. And I read I think it was, I don't know if it was unfinished or unauthorized. Oh no, it was unfinished because it came out after he died before they could finish it. But Marvin Gaye, his is very good. And I think the same person.
Can you tell me, like, I don't know his story.
So
can you sum it up for me?
Yeah. So Marvin Gaye, Motown star in the 60s and 70s, and then he died in 1984. He was killed by his father.
Get It On? Is that
that's him. He was killed by his father.
He was killed by his father?
His father. He went back to live with his parents, and then and it was just a
That's
very
not a happy ending
tragic story. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Was his father psychosis? That's a word.
Basically, it was.
Let's talk more about books, and I can't speak the English language. Let's go.
His dad. It was. They had always had a contentious relationship.
Oh.
And I believe they quoted the dad after he shot him, and then they go, "Well, did you love your son?" And he goes, "I didn't like him," or something like that. And so it was, so I read his, Aretha Franklin.
That makes me feel like so much better as a parent. Like, I did call my son a bad word one time, but I have yet to shoot any of my children.
Listen, you're doing great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Small wins.
Yeah,
Habit stacking, small wins.
Your parenting book is don't shoot your child.
Right. But that one's really fascinating because it was really detailed, and I think David Ritz is the author, but really detailed interviews about his life. But yeah, he also did Aretha Franklin's, and I read that one, which was also very good.
There's a movie that just came out.
It's two of them.
Yeah, they did two weirdly competing
Jennifer
biopics.
Hudson.
Yeah.
I watched that one. Amazing. I thought it was amazing.
But yeah, they did that one. I think that was the one that was approved by her family, and then the other one was Genius, and that one was, I cannot pronounce it. Is Cynthia? Is it Erivo? I think she did the miniseries one. Yeah. So now, have I seen either one of them? I have not. However,
you're a busy woman.
I read the book.
Yeah, with your eyes on the paper, and
So
that paper
also,
cuts.
biopic movies can be really weird and a lot more skewed because they're like, we need this story to be compelling for an audience,
Right?
So we'll
right.
pick and choose.
I wonder if it's like stand-up where you're like, okay, this one little thing happened to me, but now I got to make it funny,
Yes.
and I got to make
composites. Yeah, like composite
it's
characters.
inspired by.
Yeah, because even with the Tina Turner one, like when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, she has 4 kids, and then I found out that 2 of them were actually Ike's children, and the other 2 were I knew about the 2, but her 2 kids, I thought they were both Ike's children, but one of them was someone before she got with him, and they only had 1 child together. But I didn't know that until I read the book, and I'm like, oh, because the movie, I guess, it's just easier to say these are
the kids. Yeah, they don't have time to go into all the backstory.
Right. Yeah, but I'm trying to think. But now my favorite one, my absolute favorite one, is Bobby Brown's autobiography. It's so
did
good.
he write it?
I think so.
Did he or talk to
with,
a person who wrote it?
Listen, whoever he talked to.
He was on drugs a lot of his life, right?
I know a lot of people on drugs that write a lot of stuff.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to get some of those drugs.
But let me tell you, it is because I was like, this is gonna be crazy, and it was crazy, but in a really good way, where it was really interesting just hearing about his time with New Edition, and just how he grew up, and his parents, I think his dad was in construction, maybe his mom was an educator, and it's all these interesting things that happened. But my probably two favorite stories out of the book, he said as a kid he fried chicken in cocaine by accident, that was and he said his mom came in and was like, where'd you get that flour from? And he was just like, I got it out of the freezer. She was like, no.
Oh, wow. I was wondering how you meant by that, but you meant like a full breading of
that's
an expensive piece of chicken.
Yeah, and he talked about how
nose licking chicken.
yes, and he talked about how bad the kitchen smelled, and that because I think at the time
I've never smelled cocaine.
me either, and
I have.
Wink.
I have.
Does it have a smell?
I mean,
if you
it's-
fry
Because you're supposed to put it in your nose.
If you fry it, it's chemicals, so it's just gonna smell not good.
Oh, maybe it smells like
Yeah.
a chemical warehouse.
Yeah, it doesn't smell great. And also, cooking cocaine is a whole other thing on its own too.
Does that make crack?
Yeah, that's how you make crack too.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what he's trying to do.
Right?
So like-
yeah, but it's such a like because
Crackling chicken.
yeah, basically. And I was just like, because I think at the time, like, even though his mom was a teacher, like, they found out she had also been like involved in drugs and they didn't know it. And so she was storing it. That's
It
what he
sounds
said.
like she was like, that amount sounds like she's an entrepreneur.
Yeah. I mean, shout out.
Trying to make some money.
Yeah. Come on. But
That's
that,
yeah.
and then
She
there
was
was
a teacher's salary. I don't blame her.
Listen, if I would. I mean, let's be real. But that was the best. Also, the other one was his story about when he lived. He said he lived in a mansion in Atlanta that was haunted, and he said he had sex with a ghost, and it was hilarious to me.
Oh
And
my God.
you've got to read his. I mean, it is by far my favorite.
Sex with a ghost.
It is
Okay.
after Tina.
Okay. Can we talk a little bit about ghosts for a second?
Yeah,
and
let's
then
talk
go
about
back?
ghosts,
Okay.
yes.
Do you believe in ghosts?
No, not really. No.
But you've been to a psychic.
I have been to a psychic. Yeah, it was
You went-
over the phone.
Okay, this is the part where the room energy changes because they all come in, they want to listen.
Oh God. Yeah, I did.
I put a blessing of bright light and love and compassion on this room and only light energy. Go ahead.
Okay, the psychic.
I'm a real white lady.
Listen, no, listen, you're fine.
Where
I
are my
love
crystals?
it. No,
Yeah, we're in Buckhead. She's representing, white women don't have enough representation.
I support this. I support this. But like, so this is, and I used to kind of talk about this on stage a little bit, but psychic. So I had been in a relationship for a long time. This was several years ago, and I was distraught at the end of the relationship, and instead of going to therapy, I was like, I should go to a psychic.
Throw a lot of noodles at the wall, see what sticks.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I was like, and I remember one of my friends, do you know the comic Ramon Rivas? When I told Ramon about it, Ramon was like, so you would just have rather like not gotten like real emotional help, and he's like, you just and I forgot how he quoted, but I was like,
that can't be me or my feelings. It has to be.
He was like, so
the energies.
He's like, so obviously you thought the past was gonna, and I was like, leave me alone, let me have this moment.
Were you trying to do past life regression or ask your spirit guides for like, was that the right guy, the wrong guy?
Well, this is what happened. She told me, I can't remember every single thing, but the thing I do remember her saying, she was like, you and this man had a soul tie. And I go,
like and subscribe. I'm in. Let's go.
So
Soul
she
tie.
goes, you had a soul tie. And she's like, you've known him across many, many centuries. And she goes, in my head, I am seeing the French Revolution. There was war. And she was like, you were bringing him bread. And I was like, what? And I was
Did
like,
she have like a scarf on her
no,
head?
this was all
and
over
a
the
ball?
phone. This was over the
my
phone.
gosh.
And so I was
You're
like,
doing the voice perfectly.
and I'm just going, I was like, I mean, I didn't bring him food in real life, so that's how I know this can't be real. Like she was like, but yes, many, many generations. And one of the scenes she was describing, I was like, are you talking about The Color Purple? Because that's what it sounds
She's just like
I was
going through her DVD
I was
collection.
like, this isn't. I said, I don't trust this lady.
You built a
So-
baseball field in your cornfield so the ghosts could come for him to have his baseball.
Yes, yeah, and I just.
Oh, and then you adopted a pig and you trained it
Yes,
to
basically.
retrieve the sheep.
You were a singer and he was your bodyguard.
Right. You were lifted up in the air, and then I will always love you. Is what he said.
You are leaving money on the table by not having a psychic number that people can call with their 1-800 number, give you their credit card. Your voice is
Just-
perfect
I
at
should
this. You got to put, do you have like a reel you send out for parts?
I feel.
Yeah.
You said a what?
A reel you send out for like getting parts?
I should probably do that. Like, hello. Let me look through my collection. Yes. And it's just, all plots of movies.
Yeah, honestly,
absolutely.
that'd be really, because like if someone starts to just like call you out on you, like the connection is getting weaker.
Oh,
I've
wait a
already
minute.
charged your credit
Right,
card.
my streaming service is going out. I have no access to plots. But yeah, so that was the, and I'm trying. I remember like thinking, I was like, if I look back at my past life, and then I was like, and I remember going, my current life now will be somebody's past life, and then I was like, but what if my story where I was delivering a person bread in the French Revolution, I'm like, what if I'm just a Uber Eats driver in the
Right.
present day. Like that's where I'm delivering food.
There's always
Like,
going to be food and
who's
transportation.
Yes, yes. I'm like, who's gonna look back and be like, I also delivered bread, you know?
Oh. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So some religions or whatever they're called think that I'm not really good at religion. Believe that your soul is like coming here to learn something. Like you decide after you die, it takes a beat for you to like recover from that last life, and you kind of review it and you think about what you learned from it, and so you can learn things in the heaven or whatever you believe in. But it's faster to come and be in a human form and learn it the hard way. So this is like learning it the hard way because we have like the loss and the feelings and everything. And if you're in the heaven part, you just like see how everything's connected. Everyone who has like near-death experiences, they are at peace. They're like, it's wonderful. Everything's connected. And I'm like, then why is there genocide? Why are like babies dying? This doesn't feel like, I don't know. Anywho, how? So some people like you could be picking, if you believe in this, you could be picking different lives to learn something, which is a fun, a fun little thing to put on, like, to like your life, another meditation, like what is like, why am I here? Last time I was meditating 5 years ago, I couldn't meditate during the pandemic. I was too sad. Right?
Look, fair.
I got a message that says you're here to channel joy energy. That's like, this life is for me to channel joy energy and spread it around.
And you are very joyful.
I try to be when I'm not depressed and drunk.
You're very.
You're pretty joyful when you're drunk too.
I know I'm a good drunk.
Can I? Speaking of meditation, I did a float thing yesterday.
You did?
Yeah. What is it? Float? Is it float therapy?
Talking about
Sensory deprivation
Yes,
tank.
at Floasis, right across from the Punchline. Yeah, I did that yesterday.
Was it magical?
Yes, and I was.
Did you have a vision?
No, not a vision, but when I went in, you know, as they're explaining it to me and how it was going to work, I'm like, so will I drown? And he's like, no. He's like, there's a lot of salt in the water, you're gonna be fine. And he was telling me that like he's like, people come up with ideas and all these different things, and so like when the lights went out, I just remember like I did
panic.
Yes, for a brief.
It's very dark and you can't tell what's up or down.
Yes, and I was just, and I'm like, I did panic initially, and I'm just, like, my head was like, my neck got really stiff, and I'm like,
was it like a coffin shape?
It was kind of like a big ass egg.
Okay, good. It needs to have curves, otherwise I think it's gonna scare us.
Yeah, it looked like I sent a picture to my friend, and she was like, "Oh, is that a fancy toilet?" And I was like,
"Yeah." You're like, "I just floated in a toilet for an hour."
For an hour, right? But it was.
But it was a Toto, so it was worth it.
Yeah, but they let me. You know, they recommended like leaving a little bit of it open, so you just I was like, yeah, that's for the best. But when I was in there, I was for a brief moment, I was like, is this what space feels like? And I was like, is this how it feels to die? I was like, is it just black nothingness?
I'm floating.
And then I was floating, and then I'm like, am I Ariel? And I was like, and I just kept it. I'm like, and then I worked on a joke that I've been like trying to fix for weeks. Like, and I had actually, I sat down before and was like, oh, if I move this line, but just being in there with nothing else to look at, I was like, oh, I think I got it. I think I have it. And then also a few days before, I had Wednesday I had to go to Oregon for a show, but because of all the delays, I was stuck in the Salt Lake City airport for 12 hours.
Oh, wow.
And
that is like space well.
Listen, I just said, I'm so glad that I finally became an adult and I get access to the Delta Lounge, because otherwise I would have fallen apart. Like
I'm so excited to hear that you said that's attainable for comedians.
Yeah, I
thought it was just for family wealth.
Listen,
and CEOs.
I was like, thank you, because I was like, is there the limit? Because I know there's a limit if you are arriving, but they were like, oh no, if you're connecting, you can stay all day. And so I was there the whole day. And
got your Wi-Fi, you got your free, you don't drink, food, salads.
I do drink, but just I was too keyed up to drink. But it's
nice to have some vegetables at the airport
for once, right? And I was just like, oh my God. And then like on the way back, I got delayed, and I had to go do 2 shows at the Punchline like that same night. And so doing that thing Saturday, so Friday night when I went to sleep, even when I woke up the next morning, I was still kind of groggy, and I'm like, oh, I forgot I'm doing that thing at noon today. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then after I did it, I was like, I feel very refreshed. I was like, I feel more refreshed than when I took a nap.
It's meditation.
Yes. I
It's,
wanted a salad afterwards.
ooh.
How-
How long did it feel like you were in there for like the full hour, or did it feel shorter?
It's like the guy that owns it, he was like, it's gonna feel like you were in there for 5 minutes, and it felt longer, but
Yeah.
but it definitely better. When it was over, I was like, oh, I'm done.
If you train your brain to go to that meditative state, you can start doing that in other places too. Like it just
Really?
depends, like where you train your brain to go to that, where you can access. Like I think there's situations where you can actually like step out of your life and look down and like get perspective.
Have you
and
done that?
I haven't done. I do it in hot yoga. Because it's like so stressful. My body's like, my soul's like, I'm leaving. I'm not staying in this body.
You gotta disconnect yourself because you're just putting your
then
body through everything.
It's the same positions the one I do every time, so the muscle memory takes over and I can just travel and
Really?
get perspective and stuff.
Yeah, it was amazing.
But
So.
I love that. Okay, not usually, but sometimes when people do a life-changing meditative experience, it's like, I talked to my dad, and he said, what you're doing, you're on the right path, and the world's all connected. And you're like, I'm going to work on a joke.
I was like,
this is so you, because when you were still, like, you would come visit Atlanta, and I'd see you performing around town, and you were like working on getting a tag right, and you're like, oh, she's at the next one, she's got 5 new tags. Okay, she's at the next one, 5 new. You came to one of the shows I produced. Yeah.
Was that at
The Basement Theater.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
and you got
remember
the tag right, and you're like, oh, I got it.
Yeah. But the reason why I did it is because I'm like, I know that if I don't do it here, I'm gonna get caught up in 10,000 different things and go, I'm gonna work on it, and then I never will. You know, not like, because I'll do it on stage, but not like sometimes like the pre-work. So, but being in there, it was like, what if I say this instead?
Are you a workaholic?
And I was like, oh yeah, sort of, kind of. It's bad. Yeah, I need to get.
So
I need to meditate.
I got my husband a couples massage. No, I think we did separate ones. This was 7 years ago. This is how long ago it was. And he came out and he's like, that was great. I usually never get a whole hour just to think about physics. He's a physicist.
My,
I'm like,
that is
I don't think, is that
amazing.
relaxing for you? Is this how you unwind? Okie dokes.
He's like, somebody get me a whiteboard. I gotta write down some equations real quick before they leave.
Right? Don't say that to the massage therapist. I think you'll hurt her feelings.
An hour to think that is, he loves what he does.
You
That
did
is amazing, and I did the same.
Say you think about your joke writing.
I do stuff like that. I'm definitely a workaholic. Where I will do stuff because I have ADHD, and I like if I go on like long car trips. Like obviously I'm focused on driving, but it's not like I have to put all of my attention. So that the back of my brain can be like, okay, so the script we've been trying to write, this is actually the part, and I'll just be like, oh no, okay, hold on, I got to voice memo myself real quick because I just snapped it and I can't text while driving because I'll die.
Yeah.
I'm a danger to myself and others when I drive my car because
I
it
can
is when
see
my
that.
brain, like part of your brain is focusing on driving, and so the creative part is like, I have all these ideas, and you finally turned off your YouTube so I can talk to you now.
It's it's
A long car ride, just a highway.
I will. I have full arguments cussing people out, you know, when I'm just like, I'm gonna say this, you know, and then I'm like, I'm gonna work on a joke, and I'm like, then I'll say this on stage. So I do a lot when I'm driving. And I haven't driven in a road trip in a very long time.
You get to fly places now because you're a fancy comedian.
I'm a fancy comedian. No, well, I mean, it's
One
fine.
Delta Lounge to another.
Right. Listen.
This is the second time on the show you've all been talking about fancy flights. I'm like, I can't talk.
Wait, but can I say this though? It was so funny when my boyfriend, we went to New Orleans, and I was like, oh, and it was because he doesn't travel a lot, and so I was like, oh, we'll go to the Delta Lounge. So he walked in, he was like, is this what like rich people do? I was like, no, they fly private. And I was like, but We're doing great.
Yeah,
I was
no,
like,
it's good.
It's so good.
We
yeah.
did a Delta lounge. We were in Japan, and the Delta. My husband has it for 1 year for one reason. I don't know how. He flew enough last year sometime. But it was just so nice to go in. I'm gonna sound so terrible and talk to people who spoke English, and I got my jokes, and I could eat something that didn't have soy sauce in it.
No, you're fine. Listen,
Is this after 2
you want
weeks?
it home.
After 2 weeks, I had enough soy sauce.
Yeah,
Okay.
you just want it home. And
Let me-
that's a lot of salt.
Let me bitch about an amazing vacation. Okay.
No.
Is this
no.
relatable, Joel?
I told
know,
Kenton earlier this week that if he goes back to Japan, he can just take me. I love fish. I'll eat fish all the time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
you're
I would
a
go to
good
Japan.
boyfriend, I bet.
Yeah.
Heyo.
Oh, there we go.
Wait, what happened? What am I
She just said I'm a good boyfriend.
I
She was
mean-
making a cunnilingus joke.
Cunnilingus joke.
She's
Okay.
a little pervert.
Oh God!
Yeah, she's a little pervert.
I
Full
am.
of joy
And naughty.
Mess.
Yeah. Joy and horniness. That's the Amy. That's the Amy Brown.
It's not even
brand.
horniness. It's just I have like the brain of a 13-year-old boy. These nuts.
You should have an album called Horny Joy.
Oh.
Fuck, that is good. That's a good.
Yeah. I thought butt plugs and butterflies had a nice ring to it.
Horny Joy is a good
Horny
title.
Joy is really good.
Horny
Also
Joy.
describes you pretty well.
Yeah.
Aw.
Oh, it's
Someone called me like, what did that horny housewife say on stage?
no, that's perfect.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I went
Sorry.
to, shall I circle back to psychic?
Yes.
If we've covered the Delta Lounge.
Okay.
I went to a psychic here in Atlanta, and I used to be an interior designer, and I was like stressing out. Like, I didn't know how much of my day to commit to raising my children and how much to commit to trying to build my career. And I was just like verklempt a lot. And there's a good psychic here in Atlanta if you want to
Okay.
spend a lot of money.
Okay.
And she connected. So I had this gay uncle. He was like, like adopted into the family kind of thing. And he had passed away. And she's like, okay, your uncle is here. He's surrounded by elephants. He had died in India. He's blowing you kisses. He always used to blow me kisses. And he says, you're struggling. I didn't even tell her what I was wanting to talk to her about. She says, you're struggling. I'm having goosepimples. You're struggling with wanting to know what you should spend your life doing right now. Is it the kids the most, or is it the work the most? And he said, do the kids now. The work will always be there. The kids are only with you for a short amount of time. And then he said, I will come visit you in your garden as a bird of prey. I'm like, okay. And then I go pick up my kids at school that day, come home. They're little. I get them in the bed. I have a big king size bed so we can all have family snuggle time. They don't fit now because they're 6 feet tall. But we would have family snuggle time with the dogs.
sweet.
And we get in the bed, and like after school, everyone's like a little sleepy. We're laying in bed, and it's on the back of the house, and a hawk flies across the back windows. I see it crash lands into our separate garage on a Spanish tile roof. Like
wow.
a bird, like, birds don't look like it looked like the bird didn't know how to drive. Like it crashed into the side and then scrambled up the tile roof, Spanish tile roof, stood on the ridgepole, looked in at me long enough for me to grab my camera, say, "It's Donald!" to the children, scare them.
God.
Taking pictures, like, "I love you, Donald. Thank you so much. I thank you for looking out for me." And good, yes. And so just like, gives you a little relief in your life.
fine.
Yeah. And that I've had that message once before when I did a meditation hike. Where you do it's like you have a leader and you have to go 6 people at a time, separated out by 10 feet. And so you have to go at this slow melodic pace. You do it at sunrise, up a little mountain, and your brain fights it. It fights it. It fights it. And then finally it gives up and you're like, okay, I'm just in this rhythm. And then it's like when you're driving, whoosh, all of okay, your spirit guides are here. And I heard the message. This is the first time I heard a message from a spirit guide was, every time your foot lands, you're in the right place. Every time your foot lands, you're in the right place. Do not stress out about where you. I always where should we keep living here? Do we need to move? Do I need to change my? I always was should we have kids right now? Should we have more kids? I just kind of stressed out. And then there was chill out, girlfriend. Enjoy your physical form while you're in it. We'll be here for you when you're ready to transition.
That is, I need to go on a meditation hike.
Oh, don't forget the microphone.
I need to go on a meditation hike. But
No relaxing
Yeah,
on the
she's like,
podcast.
she's like, I don't give a shit about the podcast. Like, tell me where we
so
can go for
relaxed
this.
right now.
Yeah.
I just went,
Yeah, this is officially turned into therapy.
right. Oh my God. I think, have we found a new thing we can do? I will do the voice. You give me the advice and I will go on a
Ooh,
meditation
I was gonna say,
hike.
what's that? What's the?
Relax now.
I'm trying to
These
think.
are demons. These are spirit
No, I was
angels.
trying to think of like the old what is like Cyrano or whatever, where it's just like.
Yeah.
Like she's got the voice, you got the
Yes.
advice, where you're just like and the earbud like typing in, be like, say this.
So
No.
you should be walking, talking, walking,
Feeling.
feeling, dealing.
This turns into a rap.
Yeah, you're just like you're typing back. I need more verbs.
Right.
I need more verbs. This is so
Adjectives,
great.
please.
You have a beautiful voice. I have this upstate New York accent. Like this would be great.
You stop it. Where are you from?
Amy, you want some pop?
Where are you from?
I'm from near Rochester, New York, which
Okay.
is near Canada.
Have I been to Rochester? No, I was in Buffalo. No.
Yeah.
I feel like I have been to Rochester, but I don't remember is there a barbecue place there?
There's a garbage plate. Is that what you're thinking?
No, it's-
Tahoe's, Jimmy Tahoe's.
No, was it Dino? I went to. I think I was in Rochester. I think.
Yeah, no
And I
worries.
just
There's a
remember there
comedy
was
club there. Comedy on the Carlson. It's open like since
Oh,
2018.
I've heard of that place.
Lovely
Okay.
place, wonderful people. I'm available
Okay.
to feature if anybody the comedy of the Carlson would like me to come feature.
I could headline.
Oh, I could
do the show
together. Oh my gosh, that'd be so much fun.
We'll clip this part and just keep tagging them on
Yes.
Instagram. Yeah.
Do you want to ride horses? I grew up there riding horses. Are you
Never-
allergic?
I've probably, but I would do it.
Yeah, we can go hang out.
I would ride a horse.
I'll show you around. You want to go see the Niagara Falls?
You know what? I've been on the Canada side.
Oh, that's the
before.
prettier
Yeah,
side.
let me. Can
Yeah.
I just tell you really briefly? That is a time where I had an edible.
Oh, you did it right.
I had an edible, and my hotel room opened up into the Canadian side of Niagara
wow.
Falls, and I am not an edibles person, not
Yeah,
often, and I thought I was like, it's the size of a Jolly Rancher. I should
And that's
be
where you messed
fine.
up.
And that is where I ruined my life. Let
Yeah.
me tell you, I was on the floor in the bathroom, like my face was
Did you
on
get
the
sick?
tile. No, I was fine. But what happened? I was just laying there, and I was just like, what if this is how it ends? And like
Yeah.
right outside of
Very Elvis on the floor of the bathroom.
Oh, I was and I was just.
Did you
like,
read that book?
I did not, but
Okay.
I do know a little bit about Elvis. But yeah, I remember like calling people, and my sister was like, "Do you know you were leaving me video messages last night?" And I was like, "What?"
Floor, just
Yeah.
your face.
She said I was
mushed
just
up.
like, "Hello,
Yeah.
hello." And
Giving your last will and testament, you're like, you can have all my left socks.
yeah, pretty much. It was and then like the next day, we were going to another show, and then they were like, "Oh, we got food, Mia. Are you hungry?" And I was like, "No." And then like 15 seconds later, I was like, "Yes, I need." But they were like, "I thought you just said I don't know what's happening right
Yeah.
now." But yeah,
Yeah, the body
yeah.
goes a little crazy.
yeah.
If you're not in
it's,
charge anymore.
So I know, and so now one of my friends, her running joke is that people give me edibles, but I just always have them. And she's like, "Are you just collecting them?" She was like,
Edible
"You-"
magnet.
Yeah, she was like, "You never." She was like, "How many do you have?" And I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "Do you want them?" Like I just
Yeah.
all the time, and I don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Don't partake. It's I have children in the house, so I don't have any drugs. That's a terrible idea.
No, that means you're doing great. No drugs in the house. You haven't shot them.
I was about to say, yeah, you're really knocking parenting out of the park. Like, don't give your
Yeah.
kids drugs and
You're
don't
doing
shoot
great.
them.
You're
Right.
doing great.
I might have to put little marks on the alcohol to see if they're stealing it, though. Okay, this is okay. Ooh, this is fun. How are we doing? Okay,
We're good. We're at 40.
I got squirrely. We're talking about children and alcohol. Do you want to talk more about the celebrity books, or do you want to say something?
Oh gosh, do I want to talk more about celebrity books, or should I?
Do you know the Enneagram? I feel like this is a very spiritual podcast. Have you heard about the Enneagram?
No.
Okay, so this ties in. So Chelsea Handler's last book, I think it came out during the pandemic. I think she might have talked about it in her last special,
Okay.
but she didn't. I don't think she named it Enneagram on there. The Enneagram is a 9-number personality chart, I guess, that was like 2,000 years old, and it's having a bit of a reboot now, and everyone's
Okay.
using it. I was like that too. I was like, "What? Do we need to do this? We already have horoscopes." But I find it way more helpful as a tool for understanding people's motivations and having grace in my heart for their actions, because it goes through kind of just all these different, like, what their key motivator is, and then what their like huge fear is.
Okay.
My key motivator, I'm a 2. I'm a helper. My key motivator is I want to help people, but my biggest fear is that I will be alone and no one will help me. So when I'm helping people, I'm like, well, you better remember this, because I might be alone someday and I don't want to be alone and I need you. Like existential loneliness. The 1 is the perfectionist, and their number 1 fear is that if they're not perfect, they are undeserving of love.
I feel like I'm 1 and 2. Can you multiple numbers?
Yes, you can. Like, part of it is like
Okay.
your main one, and as you age, you kind of like you get wiser and you soften, and you're like, when I'm doing stand up, I go into 3. That's the performer. That's the person who feels like they have to look perfect. Like, things aren't like, if you open a 1's drawer, everything's perfect. If you go into a 3's house, the desk is perfect, and inside of the drawer is chaos. You just have to look perfect, or else you're undeserving of love as well.
I think I'm. And how many numbers are in this
9.
thing?
We don't have to do the whole
What
thing.
if I'm all 9 of them?
Really? Well, because you're
What if I'm
well rounded. My brother-in-law said I'm a perfect 10. I'm like, that's not one of the numbers. That was a good joke, though.
Oh yeah, no, because sometimes I think before shows I'll always be like, let me make sure I have the right thing to wear so that I look like I'm a comedian, so that people think like that's how a comedian would dress, and it's stuff where I'm like,
Ooh, that's a great question. How do you pick as a lady? How do you pick what to wear on stage? Because every time I put something, I'm like, is this see-through with a bright light?
Oh, my
Like,
God.
kids, get the flashlights. Can you see any mom's goods?
Yeah, and they're like, please stop making us do this test.
hey, listen, this is. So that is
Look at it.
That's in the category of.
Bad mom.
I mean, that's. But two out of 3.
Yeah.
You're still doing pretty good.
We're a naked
Doing
family.
good.
It's a
Yeah.
whole thing. It was a bad choice.
Are you a naked family or are you a naked mom?
No, I will be naked in my closet getting dressed, and they'll come by and talk to me, and then they'll be naked running around the house, and I'm like, how
Okay,
did
there
we
you
get
go.
here?
Yeah.
And when they were little, we let them have naked time, and now everyone's parts are flying around, and there's a lot of wieners in my house.
It's hilarious. Oh, I can't.
We weren't a naked family, but I had a naked mom, and then the rule was when we got older, she's like, you have to call if you're gonna bring friends over, mainly because I need to know if I got put on pants, because she would just walk around in a shirt, no bottoms.
Pooh
And
Bear. She's
I
Pooh
definitely
Bearing.
have 3 friends. They're like, fuck, I just saw your mom. I was like, yeah, I told you.
And it's the hooch.
I told
It's
you
the
not
rough
to
part.
go upstairs. Like,
Like, it's fine.
yeah.
I think okay, is it better to see your friend's mom's hooch or her titties? I would say titties would be better.
I think titties are better.
Is there
Yeah.
a secret neither option?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I guess you would.
My dad-
I mean, I never saw any of my friends because my friends' parents would just wear clothes because they had kids.
Yeah, mine-
But
yeah.
so
I bet
I don't know.
My dad would sleep naked on the sofa, and I'd have like friends come over at
Well,
night,
that is wild.
and he'd pop up.
No,
Where is
no.
this? Do you mean like the living room public area
So, yeah.
sofa, or like a sofa in his private office?
No, we had like a ranch house, and it was like an open floor plan, and so the
Jesus.
front door you could see the kitchen, the dining room, and the sofa.
I
in the
get why
living
you
room.
were a naked family. This
Right
is all
now
we're
we
connecting
know.
the
Yeah,
dots.
now we no.
It's-
Wow.
I wonder
Okay.
if, like, my family's kind of sloppy too. Like, we never close a cabinet or put the top back on peanut butter. And I wonder if, like, not closing the bathroom door, not covering your private parts kind of goes along with that.
Yeah,
like,
what
just
number
loose,
on the Enneagram
messy,
scale?
Yeah. What is the
messy
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
They don't cover that.
There's
You know?
not a naked couch sleeper. As
Naked couch sleeper.
Naked couch
is-
sleeping
what is-
with people at your house is wild.
I mean, if I had a boyfriend try to come over and visit, that's a good deterrent. Like, well, I don't want to see your dad's dick.
yeah. I mean, yeah. That's
It's like
one
holding
way
a
to-
shotgun
Yeah.
naked. Who are you here to see my daughter?
nope. I am
I was
not.
trying to sell Bibles at
Yeah, it's
12
like,
p.m.
sorry,
at night.
which address is this? My
12
bad.
a.m.
My bad.
But this is what. So this is what in my.
Oh yeah, we're dressing.
I've gone through different phases. So
Yeah.
when I first started, I would wear and I just remember like there was this because I always feel like I should wear like a jacket or something on stage. You know, not always, but it just depends on like how I feel weight wise. But like I remember when I first started, I had this black denim jacket that I thought was the cutest thing, right?
I'm on board. It sounds awesome.
But apparently I wore it so much to where my dad, he does not pay attention to anything. And he asked my mom, he was like, does she have another damn jacket? He was like, why does she always have on that jacket? And
We'll
I was
send
like,
her one.
It looks good,
Yeah,
right?
we'll send her another jacket.
Yeah, he was so, and my mom was like, you need to get another
You were
jacket.
Steve Jobsing it. You had that's your
Right.
uniform. That was your confidence. That was
Yes.
Linus's blanket.
Yes, but my dad was like, yeah, but my mom was like, if he said something, she was like, you probably need to get another jacket. She's like, he doesn't notice anything. So I had that phase, and I had.
Do you still have the jacket?
No, I donated it.
You like that should be like in a plexiglass archival paper on the wall
I
at the Delta
donated it.
Lounge.
Right. Like, me and Jackson.
Signed it.
No, but I think I ended up donating it, and then
I will say I
Mary
remember
Kondoed
the
it.
jacket you're talking
I was about
about
to say,
because
you
I
know it,
because I know
You probably saw it.
when I
wore
first
it.
moved to town. I think it was when did you move out of Atlanta?
Well,
I can't remember if you were moved yet or if you just coming in because I came whenever like Clayton and like Clayton English and like Noah Garden Sports and stuff were
What
still
year?
here.
What was it like?
I moved in like 2015, but I came down a lot too because I hosted the show up in Chattanooga. So me and Gilbert show swapped a lot.
Okay, so I was wearing the jacket a lot around even earlier than that. So but I can't remember how long I kept it. But
Yeah.
you may have seen the
Yeah,
jacket.
because I remember seeing you a bunch before I officially moved down here. I just came
I
down
just
for a
come to
bunch of shows.
Chattanooga.
Yeah.
And I probably wore it there.
Yeah.
I was. This jacket was. It was.
It's seen the world.
It's been and I was like, I just gotta get rid of this jacket. So there was that. But then I went through a phase where I like I remember when I like got like super fit and I was like, I'm gonna wear dresses and other cool things. And then I just remember wearing one dress one time that was a little bit too short, and I was like, okay, I can't do this one anymore because I will never forget. I wore the dress and I was working with a headliner. I won't say who it was, but one of his friends came to the show. And my boyfriend was in the green room with me, and the friend walks in, and he was like, yo, you in that dress? And he was like, oh my God. And then so my boyfriend is sitting there, and he was like, yo, did you see her in that dress? And he was like, yeah, that's my girl. And he was like, she fine. She fine. And he was like, no, I know. And I mean, he's like a very, very introverted. So he was just like, yeah.
You got a good review in front of your boyfriend.
Yeah, but he was
Stocks
like-
raising.
Yeah.
I think that's good. But I mean, like, you want to be like, there's like a thing like you don't want to be too sexually dressed.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
then people aren't paying attention to the jokes.
Right,
In
and-
theory. And
yeah.
I don't know how boners work, but I think here it takes the blood away from your brain, and so you can't laugh.
And then I'm tall and I had on heels, so it was a lot. But then also what made it worse is that the guy came back after the show was over, and he kept going on.
He's
And
sniffing
he was
around.
Like, he was like, dude. And my boyfriend was like, I get it. You can chill now. And he was like, but I'm just saying though. He was like, I know. He was like, it's my girl. I know what she looked like. And he was like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, here, touch my boner. This is how much I
Right.
like her. Is it really-
Yeah. So I was like, oh. And here's the thing, like, wear whatever you want. And I think women should wear whatever you feel good about. It's just,
Yeah,
but
that's
it's definitely
hard.
for me. I was like,
You have
I gotta make sure.
Wait, we have to be women and feel good. I
know,
can't.
I
You
know.
have to like look in the
I know.
mirror
Ugh, it's
and
gross.
and feel good,
It's gross.
and then do comedy.
It's just too many things to do at one time.
It's so hard.
But if I do wear a dress, I just have to be cognizant of, it needs to be a longer
Right.
dress for me. And so, but recent times though, in 2021,
If you do an act out, you don't want anything falling out too. Like
Yeah.
bending the knees or
this has been my constant problem. This is what I have to check. Sometimes with my pants, the zipper will fall down, and I have had several different incidents recently. And I remember one back in the day at the Punchline when it was on.
hometown pants unzipped.
Oh, it was when it was on. What was it? It was Roswell Road. Yeah. And I was the original location, and I was hosting, and my zipper was down the entire time. And I just remember after the show, this couple, they were like, yeah, so
Oh, they came up.
yeah.
That's a good person.
And then I was like,
A good person. You see something, you say something.
yeah. And then I've had the last time I was at the Punchline, not this recent time, but a few months ago, I was middling, and they sent me a drink on stage, and I was like, "Oh, well, thanks for the coffee, guys. Do I look tired?" And then they kept going, and then Raven, one of the servers, was like, "Look at the note, Mia. Look at the note." And I was like, "Oh."
And yeah, he was just like, "And my set's done. I have to go die now."
Yes. And I
so
was
the
like,
server brought the coffee with the note.
Yeah, because Marcy from Punchline, Marcy was like, "Her zipper's down. We gotta tell her zipper's down."
Oh my god!
I'm always now on stage like,
yeah. I wonder if they have like the little locks they can put on it. I know,
what I
like
need.
when my son was little, we had to put little safety pins on his jammies right here to keep so he wouldn't unzip and access
what I need.
his duty diaper.
Okay.
Yeah. And finger paint.
oh God,
His art supplies.
Oh dear God.
Yeah.
Your family's too free. I'm gonna say it.
I mean,
There's too much freedom in this house.
artistic freedom.
I know, right? Well, I know we're a little bit hippie and a lot of bit wasp. I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll. That's but hippie and wasp, I think.
Yeah,
This is what happens when wasps, like white Anglo-Saxon
Yeah,
Protestants
oh, yeah,
live
I
in
know.
Boulder for 5 years.
Yeah,
I don't know.
no,
Okay.
it makes you.
Keep your zipper up. Don't be see-through. Don't wear a too short skirt.
Don't wear too
I love a
short.
skirt with a shorty shorts, like the short,
haven't
not
done a
shorty
skirt.
short, but like it looks like a skirt, but you can
But
like,
yeah, but I haven't
you can
done
bend and
one.
snap, and
That's a good idea. Oh, also, this is what I've been doing. I wear a lot of sneakers now on stage because I was like, in 2021, that's when I was pretty much like, I don't think I want to wear heels anymore. And I said, but I do still want to look like I've tried. And so it has started a very big problem where I've purchased
expensive
a
sneakers.
lot of Jordans.
Do you do the high heel sneakers that people wear?
No. I
Okay.
just been getting Jordans and Dunks, and I have a lot of Adidas.
I see a lot of comedians wearing sneakers.
It's a lot, and it's gotten to the point.
Lady
with
comedians.
My boyfriend also, like, when I started buying sneakers, he was like, one day he was like, "How many pairs of Jordans do you have now?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." And I just started naming them off, and I got
Carrie Bradshaw.
I got defensive at
of
first because I was
sneakers.
like, why? I was like, why? And he was like, no, I'm just asking. And then he started buying sneakers. And
Oh
now
my God, the two of you together.
his
There's no one's
collection,
the adult.
It has surpassed mine.
Okay, so Carrie Bradshaw in Sex and the City couldn't buy her apartment because she had so many Milano Blahniks.
Yes, yeah, I remember.
And like
yeah.
her friend Miranda did the math, and it was like $40,000 in sneakers, and she's like, "That's the down payment for your apartment. You can't buy, you dork."
yeah, it is so like because we've been pretty much like, oh God, like because we've been like trying to think about getting a place in Jersey, and we're like, we have to get
Can you sell your sneakers?
another,
Not the
we were like-
babies.
we were like, we need a 2-bedroom just for the shoes,
sneakers.
and it's like when we travel, I'm like, which sneaker do I take? I'm like, they're all beautiful.
I'm glad you still like them. Like it's the worst. Like if you like buy them and they're expensive and they're uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and you're like, "But I have to keep it because I bought it,"
Yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah, we when we went to New Orleans, he came. I had a middle, like the medium sized suitcase, and I had a carry on, but he came with the large, and it was like 8 pairs of sneakers.
For a weekend? For a week?
We were there for 5 days.
5 days,
but
8 pairs of shoes. You only have 2 feet. What's happening?
Well, I do have to admit that he was also bringing me some sneakers that he bought for me too. So that was part. But we all,
this is your love language.
Sneakers.
It's
Sneakers.
We are forever sending screenshots back and forth like, okay,
that's-
are these good show
How do-
sneakers? These are show sneakers.
How do you have like the like what's the storage on them? How do you store them?
You know what? Some of them
And
are
a
still in the,
humidor with the cigars.
that's what I need.
Well, they have like the stacked box
Yeah,
storage
yeah.
for sneakers
Do
that
you,
I've
do you
seen.
keep it like in a wine cooler?
No, mine are just in like I just have them in shoe bags that are stored in
Okay.
where I just and some of them are still in the box. So, but yeah, but that's what I'm doing a lot now on stage. Where I'm like, oh, I can still be dressed up, but I can still wear sneakers.
I think there is a point. I've had people say like if they go to an event and it's like people paid money to come and they got a sitter and you go on stage and you are so not put together, you look mentally unstable.
Yeah.
Especially as a woman, like the women in the audience are like, oh no.
Yeah,
she needs someone to help her get dressed. Someone call her
Yeah.
mother. Like
Yes,
what's happening?
I have
do we
seen-
need to be aunties here? Does someone need to take her shopping?
Yeah, and I have seen comments
Yeah.
where I've been like, that's what you wore for the weekend.
Some people have that. That's part of their character. Like if they are like
But-
mentally unstable, and that's funny.
But when
Great,
it's
good for
like-
them. But
yeah,
like,
if you try just a little bit, just try just a little.
Well, the John Mulaney wears a suit, and he said he started doing that because he was at the Laughing Skull, and the audience was all these guys wearing flannel shirts and jeans, and then he went on stage and he was wearing flannel shirt and jeans. And he's like, "Why should they listen to me? I'm not commanding authority in any way." And that's when he started wearing suits. So,
I got to work with him recently.
Did you?
I did. In Canada. Yeah, it was great.
Was it great?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a great show. It was a fundraiser for a hospital, and so and they were like, "Do you want to open for Mulaney?" I was like, "Yes, please."
Check.
Let me think about this.
I was like, and he did like new stuff. He also did stuff from the special he just had and stuff from the previous one, but it was so good. And it was just like nice to just watch, to be like,
Oh yeah, I
this
love
is how
comedy.
it's done.
Yeah,
Like,
I love seeing a good comedian kill. Nothing better. Laughing for an hour and a half makes my mental health better, and I miss it.
Yeah, no, it's a
when I can't get to it.
Yeah.
No, okay.
It's amazing.
We are at the point where I'm going to ask you a series of questions and determine how nerdy you are, basically, or what kind of nerd you are. Okay?
All right.
Are you ready? This is a loving circle. I think you might be a 1 on the Enneagram because you're already getting worried you're not going to get a good grade on a made-up nerd show.
You are. Can I tell you something briefly? My mom said that when I was a kid, she was like, I would worry so much. You remember how, like, in elementary school, they would have you do, like, the kids are going to do alphabets, with the A, you'll use, beans to glue on the A, or different things. My mom said that I would be like, that bean is out of place. She said, I'd be like, that one's not right. And she's like, you're gluing beans on a letter. Calm down.
And you're like, and I'm gluing beans with self-respect.
With respect and order. So yes, I'm probably a 1.
Yes. That's wonderful. That's a great energy.
Yeah. So
as long as you have kindness for yourself and you don't reflect your need for protection or perfection onto your loved ones. Because it can get.
You're asking for a lot right now.
That's
Amy.
a lot.
This is the arc of the life, though. Like, my husband's a 1. And he's like a red wine. He's just getting better and better with age.
It's beautiful.
And he's full bodied. No, he's
told you she's a little
horny
pervert.
joy.
Horny.
He's 140 pounds.
And I know, not from experience, just from all the stories on the show, that he can throw it down.
Yeah.
That's why I've talked to him like maybe 5 times, but now I'm just like, every time I look, I'm like, Kenton, good job. Hey, all right.
He's a man. He commands respect.
Hey. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. Have you ever stood in line for a midnight release or overnight for some sort of like product or movie or?
Wait. No, not that. I don't know. I'm trying to. Have I done that? No.
How long have you stood in line for sneakers?
Oh,
I haven't. I only do it through apps.
There we go.
I only do it through apps. Yeah.
Have you ever been to a Rush concert?
No.
Yeah, that's a really. Do you have any card collections? Pokemon.
Oh, I used to collect basketball cards.
Basketball cards.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, I have like a Shaq rookie card. I have all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Did you play basketball?
Terribly, but yes.
Did they just say you should play because you're tall?
That is the only reason.
That's pretty much, all my tall friends, they're like, I was made to play. They're like, well, you're really tall.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah.
No coordination.
I don't like anything where balls are flying at my face.
Listen, I was awful.
I've heard stories otherwise, Amy.
Heyo.
Hashtag horny joy.
See? Horny Joy really is a good first album name.
Okay, we'll do it. Have you ever owned or held a pet tropical bird?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do you have a pair of fairy wings?
No.
Have you used AI at all since it came out? Are you jazzed up about it?
No, I have not used it at all. Like I've been tempted to do the pictures, but no.
Do you know all the words to a musical?
Do I? Wait, let me see. Do I know? Well, I know some of the words to some stuff from The Wiz.
Yeah.
Some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Half
I know
credit.
I know You Can't Win. It was Michael Jackson. His Scarecrow. I do know that song.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you watch The Lord of the Rings?
I fell asleep.
Thank you. I watched it with my husband, and he's read all of them, and he's like pausing, and he's like, "Okay, this is what you need to know about those big trees that are walking." Like, okay.
Like the screen was too dark for me. I was like, "Who?" I was like, "I can't even see this," and I fell asleep. So yeah, I didn't make it.
Do you have have you ever won a perfect attendance award?
No, and I was always,
and you are not over it.
and I no, you just brought me. I mean, I was every year I would be like, I always miss a day because of something. Like chicken pox.
You are such a one on the Enneagram. It's so cute. I love it. Okay, yeah, so you're very much a school nerd.
Yeah.
Do you get excited when you're going shopping for school supplies and
That was
like,
I would get the Sunday paper and circle.
Yeah.
I would like we've got to go to this store and this one because they have pencils for this much and I need this kind of paper and
yeah. Do you go to Office Depot now just to like cheer up?
And God, now that this is because I was just talking yesterday where I was getting ready for the show and I go, I don't know where my pen is. I can't find my pen. And then my boyfriend was like, you love pens. And I was like, yeah, I do. But yeah, I will go in there and go, oh, I need a folder. And my sister will be like, why? Like, what do you need it for? She's like, why do you fill me your notebooks? I love office supplies.
Anything's possible.
And my mom, when I was a kid, she was, she worked in HR. She's always worked in HR, but she would come home. Do you remember those inter-office envelopes with the pink little circle where you wrap and you would, back then before email and stuff, but I would be like, I need you to bring me typing paper. And it was really because of the movie 9 to 5, where in the scene where Jane Fonda, when she worked for the first time, and the copy machine, it was like all these different colored papers. And I asked my mom, I was like, do you have any of those and can you bring them to me? So she was still in office supplies.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
you're
that's
role
great.
playing.
In an envelope. And 9 to 5 is one of my favorite
9 to 5 is
movies.
a very good movie to get influenced by, though.
I love that movie.
That's a great movie. I love that movie. I just love that. So you want your mom to bring home office supplies
Yes.
so you can like role play office lady at home?
Yeah, I would just have an office. Like, I don't even know what I was doing, but I was like, and I would just be stacking the papers.
Stacking.
Yeah, I had Post-it
Roger,
notes.
get in here.
All that stuff. Yeah.
Where's my file for the Johnsons?
Yeah.
and then you just hijack the office and run it, and then actually do a better job than the dumb white man in
That's
charge.
what
That's
I
also
should've done.
everyone should take that note in their
dream.
everyday work. Honestly,
I love that movie.
Have you ever owned or worn a cape?
No. I don't think I have I don't have a cape.
Okay.
No, that's not true. Even though I don't completely acknowledge her anymore, but I did have a Harry Potter t-shirt with a cape on the back.
You don't acknowledge her?
J.K. Rowling, she's a
J.K.
turf.
Rowling. Oh, okay. But, I mean, the story's good.
The work exists.
I loved the Harry Potter books.
Me too.
My husband read them to us with all the voices. It was magical. I cried when they were done because it was the end of my children's childhood and mine because my family never read to me.
Those books were amazing. But yeah, I have a shirt with the cape on the back, and my sister bought it for me. My mom was like, I hope you don't plan on wearing that anymore.
How old were you when you were wearing
A
this?
full grown adult.
Oh my God!
She was like, "This is just a few years ago."
That's a lot of cape. I was thinking you were in middle school.
No.
I don't know how old you are, so I don't know when it came out for you.
I was grown.
Yeah, me too. I have younger friends who are like they were waiting for their
No.
letter from Hogwarts to come in the mail every day. They're checking it.
Fully grown. I was a full adult. Yeah.
I love that, and you wore it. So that's pretty nerd. Oh, you didn't?
I didn't.
Around the house, just a
Around
little
the
twirl
house.
around the
Yeah,
house.
so I did have a
We
cape.
didn't like have it touch all your office supplies while you're twirling around the house.
knocking over Post-it notes.
Have you ever written fan fiction?
No, I have not.
Have you ever been like feeling like you might want to?
There are some stories I would redo, maybe, I think.
Do you like watching Jeopardy?
Of course. Come on. Like you should. Yes. When I was in high school, people knew not to call me between 7 and 7:30.
Oh my God.
Oh wow,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
this is definitely
yeah.
school nerd.
School. Yeah. This is.
Yeah. Nobody, like people call me, they be like, "Oh, my bad, it's 7 o'clock," and I'd be like, "Yeah, we don't talk until 7:30."
Yes. You. I'm surprised you're not like a PhD
I wish.
somewhere.
I really hope that you would just answer the phone and just say 7 to 7:30, and they go, "What's the time I'm not supposed to call Maya?" And then,
Just don't even call.
You
Like,
don't know my life. Click.
Yeah.
You should be a bit like. I'm surprised you're not like a PhD.
And you know what? When I was in college, I remember going at one point. I was like, "Oh, I think I want to get my master's, and I think I want my PhD, so I can be a communications professor." And then I got into comedy, and then just
Well, you
forgot
are
about
still
all of it.
communicating.
Still communicating.
Do you ever like pull abstract facts from like history and put it in your set?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I used to
Yeah.
have I had a joke where I referenced Van Gogh, and then I remember like one day going like, "Oh, I found out that it's actually not pronounced Van Gogh, it's Van Gogh." Yeah,
My head just exploded.
yeah. It's and I remember like in the joke that I had, because it was about my boyfriend texting me, and he was like, "Hey, this is a work of art, and this should Van Gogh in your vagina." And I was like, "Real? Yes, no, I take it back. It's either Van Gogh or Van Gogh or something like that." But I was like, that could be even worse. But yeah, it's not Van Gogh in the way that we think that it is. But I was like, I got to put that in there. But yeah, I will find out stuff sometimes and go, "Oh, I need to be able to." Because I remember the comedian Pat Brown, she lives in New York now, but she used to be in Atlanta, and I really look up to her like still to this day. And I remember her telling me one time, she was like, "You can use your set to educate people. Like, use your set to give somebody
a little
information."
snippet.
Yeah, so
I'm thinking about
yeah.
using mine to do marriage counseling, and just like, this is what my counselor said. Make it funny.
Yes.
Make it funny.
Yes.
Everyone go home and have a good night together. Wink.
Yeah, yes. Use
Okay.
it all.
I love this for you. Okay, I have one
Okay.
more question at the end, but you
Okay.
are definitely a 1 on the Enneagram. We got a lot out of you today. Thank
Okay.
you. You're 1 on the Enneagram.
I'm excited when y'all want me to produce your self-help like meditation podcast too.
Yes.
It's just we can go on hikes and just talk about the revelations.
Like, absolutely. And you're a school nerd. You want to know the facts. You want to be
Yes.
right at the facts. You
Yeah.
want to have maybe this. I could be guessing here, but maybe you want people to know that you know the facts and you get them right.
That is, let me tell you, you are absolutely right. You are on the money. Like can I tell you, this is another fun that has nothing to do with anything, but I just want people to know that I know things, okay? But when I was a corporate trainer, I would sometimes do little quizzes with people, and we would do music. And then I remember one of my classmates, not classmates, one of the people in the class, he was like, "Oh, I bet you don't know where this sample came from for this song." And then he was like, "This song by the DLC." And then I go, "Yeah, I do." I go, "That sample is actually from the Silvers." And I go, "Foster Silvers from his song, Misdemeanor." And he was like, "Oh." And then I was like, that is my second favorite black family band of the 70s.
Second favorite.
The
Everything's
Jacksons-
ranked.
The Jacksons are the first.
I
But
feel like someone should walk behind you with pyrotechnics that after you like slam it down, fireworks go off behind you like, yeah, that's right. I know everything.
yeah, but it was I remember that dude, his face just dropped, and he's like, "I bet you don't know that that's the sound." And I was like, I do, and I know where it comes from. And so I'm awful sometimes. Yeah.
Insufferable. No.
No, absolutely. No, I can't.
No, you were
be.
so nice. After making that joke, I have to say, like, I was like telling people yesterday at Laughing Skull that you were going to come over and do my podcast today, and everyone's like, "Oh, Mia's so nice. She's so nice. So you have the best reputation." I love it. But now we know that behind all of your niceness, you're judging people for not being perfect.
Fact
So
finding, fact knowing.
You you do bite your tongue a lot, like in the back of your mind. You're like, I actually know that better. And,
Oh yeah, I've it's been times where I've had to be like, don't just be quiet.
Like your tongue.
Be quiet.
Okay,
not the moment.
One last question.
Okay.
What's your celebrity crush? Who's your celebrity crush?
Oh God, do I have a celebrity crush?
Ain't got time for that. You're too busy
Yeah,
traveling the
I
world.
don't have a celebrity crush. I'm trying to think who was my celebrity crush as a kid. Maybe I really can't think of anybody. Like I
My celebrity crush, who is whoever the bartender is at the Delta Lounge. This is my new lover.
hilarious. That is, but that's right. Actually, that's who my crush should be.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah.
I know
really got to think about my life. I don't have a celebrity crush.
I don't really have one either. If I have any romantic feelings, I gotta harness that and focus it on my husband. Like, let's do it. Like, let's keep it love and light and energy. And thank you, Mia Jackson. Thank you so much for coming on Nerdy Floor.
Before we sign off, give plugs where everyone can find you.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
And then watch all your amazing comedy specials.
Absolutely.
Right, you guys. So MiaJackson.com, which I have been updating, putting shows on lately. Instagram at Mia Comedy. Twitter, it doesn't matter because I'm not active. And let's see. Oh, specials. MGM Plus. Unprotected Sets, SETS. Comedy Central half hour, which you can also find on YouTube. And then I wrote for the upcoming season of Life and Beth on Hulu, and so just be on the lookout when that drops.
That's fantastic!
Yeah.
Congratulations!
Yes, thank you.
Oh God, what was it? LeVar? No, wait, no.
I play his wife in
I
the
was
show.
producing his podcast, Two Virgos and a Mic.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. I was producing his show too.
Oh, a small world.
I play his wife on the show.
Yeah, LeVar's great.
Yes.
That's so cool. So are you picketing right now, or what's that called?
Yeah. I mean,
not going to work.
When I was in New York, I've been on the lines.
Oh, in the front lines. Thank you for
just
doing that, getting
walking
people
around and in the heat.
what they need.
Yeah. So
So
pay
cool.
people, pay writers.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all need to laugh. All right. Thank you so much.